Yo, how is everybody? We're back. Yo, Dis, I hope you're safe. Hope you are safe. Arson sucks. Don't do arson. Mm-hmm. 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 Many things we need to do, but at the same time, I don't have a super clear idea of exactly what I want to do. No, actually, hold on. BRB. I know we just had BRB. Real quick. All right, sorry, we're back. So, do huts need windows? How would we do that? I both want to procedurally place windows and then also have those procedural points in such a situation that would allow me to decorate them, put some window boxes on them, have something hang out of them, who knows. I should do a window creator. Clean everything. We might try that first, actually. Actually, how do we delete geometry nodes? Add plane. We're gonna call this plane destroyer of node trees. Okay, so we have our destroyer of node trees. We add modifier geometry node, and then we just go through cap on stock. You're not being used by anything. Turn you off. Also not being used by anything, turn you off. Is this gonna work? I don't know. And then we have to delete them, and then do we reopen the file again? I think I just want to like unprotect all these things. Can we do it just here? Drop this. So if we do it this way, we can't see what has the cap on stock on it. So if we go geometry nodes, oh, interesting. Okay, now this says 0 next to it. Boop. Okay, all right, this could work. And if anything is actually using it, it won't be deleted at all. This should be hopefully see, this does have 4. And you have 13, which makes me wonder if 12, whatever's using 12 should get updated. I just don't know where they are right now. I'll have to dig into that. What's regular geometry nodes? Curve line, resample, set radius. This is just an extrusion? This might have been like the first stem. And what are you? Curve line resample. This might also be stem. What is blur? They're trying to make you evacuate? Please be safe. Please be safe. Is there like an evacuation window? Is it orderly? Is it a suggestion or is it more stern? Stem duration 2. It's so ugly. Like support lattice isn't being used. Yeah, this one's not being used. I wonder if this is gonna feel good. Like cathartic or something. Not sure you think you're fine though. Should back up your PC. To the cloud maybe, you know? If you have an event threatening your actual house, then you should have a backup off-site at a different location. I mean, you should always have that anyway, technically. Okay, so nothing's using any of these supports. Okay, that one's being used. Well, you know it's cleaner. Hello. Yeah, the backups don't help if they all burn in a fire. Just saying. Come on, Blender. What are you even doing? Like, this worked at one point. And I didn't save. So we're gonna have to go through and clean up all that stuff again. Unshield all those bits. If it won't return, we'll see. You just need 40 more minutes? Again, just please be safe. How can you play Pathfinder with us if you're Ash? Blender crashing? Yeah, a little bit. Maybe I forgot to save. It'll come through. You know what? Sometimes Blender just takes a while to think. You look at Warframe? It's got rave reviews. The fire's closing in all around you, but you gotta get that last trick shot off. Yeah, Warframe is supposed to be really good and has a good community and a good company behind it. They even have like a Warframe convention every year, from what I understand. My only hesitation is I think they have started another game. So where they used to be 100% dedicated to Warframe, now they're not, you know. But who knows? There's still so much content. And if you haven't played it before, which I can't even say that I've played it. Like I have, but it was not for long enough to matter. There's just gonna be tons of content, right? Maybe it's time for them to move on. Like soon, for me and Blender. Blender also has rave reviews by rabid fans. So I think Warframe has less people saying negative things about it, that means a lot. You don't want a game that's just upheld by sycophants. Rave reviews by some people that don't play any other game. This is the greatest game I've ever played. It is also the first game that I have ever played. Okay, Blender, you're making me sad now. Really? Like, really? Blender's at like max memory right now. It could resolve. But I'm also wondering, how do we resolve this situation? It's using a lot of memory itself, like a lot. And I wonder if cleaning up any of that other stuff would have made it better, if I just need to incrementally clean it up. Okay, wait, memory's coming down. I have hope. No, but now it's climbing back up again. So wait, Dis, are you through with Throne and Liberty? Yeah, memory's climbing again. It's doing some operations right. Yeah, when this gets done, if it gets done. Yeah, it's all memory. It's all just trying to move memory around to figure out what it's trying to do. CPU is not even that high because it just has to work on other stuff. And the amount of memory is like, I can't really close other stuff. It is an obnoxious amount of memory that's taking up. Should have gone for the bigger RAM package. An easy 96 gigs or something. But no, I'm like, that's too much. 64 is fine. Well, yeah, 64 max. Because Blender. I don't even know what it's doing right now. Oh, I know what it's doing right now. Never mind. Oh, man. So this, I think the first Voronoi cap is actually the hairy Voronoi solution. How do we make it safer, though? We should be able to open it up. I think it's probably because I have one open already, maybe? I don't know. The cleaning is so much more important than I thought it was, though. I don't know what to do with this because there's obviously no load bar. It's bouncing around and thinking about stuff. It's going to take a while. I can't really open anything else up to do. I mean, I could, but it would just like make this take even longer. And that would probably run bad. Gotta think. Or just wait. Maybe just be patient. Live with some milky Blender for a while. This entertain me with banter. Or I could talk about random stuff. So I was looking more into Pathfinder yesterday with a friend and a wife. Friend and the wife. My wife. And a lot of what they have in there is cool. But the one thing that's like it didn't dawn on me until we actually sat down to be like, okay, what kind of characters would we make? And it has a lot of species options, because they're not called races now, right? You're different species. So you have different species options that you can be. And that, I think, has the full gamut of everything you would expect, plus all the extra BS that they wanted to add in to make you feel special at the beginning of the game. But then there's only like 6 character classes, and they leave out some of the, like, I don't know, some of the ones that have been there forever. There's like no paladin, there's no barbarian in the core rulebook. So I go looking around, like, okay, wait, where are the rest of the classes? Because I have some content that references some of those classes, like an alchemist, a champion, barbarian, sorcerer. Because that wasn't in there. They put a witch in the core class, but they didn't put a sorcerer. Also didn't like the spell list for the cleric. It seemed like what people assumed a cleric was, whereas Pathfinder 1 and 3.5, people were like, oh, a cleric, but if you actually look at the domains that a cleric can take up, you could be a pyro. You could be absolutely obsessed with lighting everything on fire as a cleric and still be a good, like a lawful good cleric. It was so cool and interesting. They could have secretly been the most powerful character class, you know, like kind of rivaling wizards, especially at low to mid levels where they get kind of wizard spell list can be spotty, but like some of those cleric domains were solid all the way through. And then I go to Pathfinder 2 and they're all like exactly what you'd expect. Frickin' create food. Heal minor wounds. Every once in a while there'd be something that could be cool, but I was just so bored by everything else. There is like a dragon form on the cleric spell list, which is very weird, but kind of cool. But yeah, it's like a lot of utility and healing and stuff. Like I kind of wanted that, like, I don't know, the alternate spellcaster, you know? And it's not there. But huge new spell list, and all of the classes that you were missing are all in, I forget what they call it. It's like the core rulebook 2 or the advanced rulebook. But what kills me, the advanced rulebook is like, we added 4 classes and one of them is the witch. I'm like, how did you add the witch when the witch is in the base set? So I think they re-released the core rulebook and put a 2 after it, even though it's already the 2nd edition. So it's a 2nd edition of the 2nd edition Pathfinder rulebook that will have the expanded spell list, expanded character classes. I think, man, it's like driving me crazy a little bit. Especially because they would bundle everything together with the core rulebook and not the like updated core rulebook. And then they still have this advanced thing that they're putting out, and you're just gonna have like overlapping classes. Some have been updated, some aren't. It just, man, Pathfinder is supposed to be easy, and all of a sudden buying the books is difficult. How is that the way the world is? It's a tabletop RPG. So we're talking about, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not Wizards of the Coast. They took the 3rd edition and 3.5 edition, which everyone really liked, and they ran with that. For Pathfinder anyway. Pathfinder 2 is kind of like an updated, more polished version of that. It's a bit more balanced. But Pathfinder 1's great. I love how all the books are, everything's good. Except that it's so overpowered and unbalanced, which sometimes that's why you play games. I don't know. But then Pathfinder 2, it just like, guys, you put out a preview book that you allowed people to buy, not even just download. Just like, here, we're going to make hardcover and softcover preview updated books. And then they immediately replaced those, and then they immediately put in an errata book, and then they immediately, and I don't know about immediate, I'm on a roll here. And then they eventually put out the 2, and it's now very confusing as to what of your products are even worth having, because it seems like a bunch of things that are in print and that you're willing to sell are completely outdated. And not just like Pathfinder 1, because Pathfinder 1's not outdated. It still completely works as a system. But books in the updated Pathfinder 2nd edition are somewhat outdated, and they're still selling them. And it's like brain rot. Brain rot is set in everywhere. How did they work that out with the intellectual property in Wizards of the Coast? Well, they called it something different. And also, Wizards of the Coast had it under the open gaming license. So it wasn't directly Dungeons and Dragons, but it was similar enough, and there were protections in place. And then also, to boot, the thing that many people forget, that most of the time Dungeons and Dragons has existed, for your and my lifetime. I think that's true. The publisher that has published the most Dungeons and Dragons content was Paizo, the company responsible for both Dungeon Magazine and Dragon Magazine, one kind of player focused and one kind of GM focused. And because they were monthly magazines that put out Dungeons and Dragons content involving a lot of the creators of the base game and all the expansion and everything, like they literally put out more Dungeons and Dragons than the Dungeons and Dragons company. So yeah, then they turned around and were like, wait a second, why aren't we just making our own tabletop RPG? So they did. Sorry, not responding is just so bad. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I missed it. I was on a thing. Face clap. Sorry. It's on my rant. Okay. Also, hey Kroji, how are you? What are you up to? Stop using Blender because the devs are assholes. I feel that all the time. They are just trying to anger me. But also, the complaints were all about Pathfinder, not really Blender. Blender, I'm just like, why? Why is clicking on something that exists in the scene already, I'm pretty sure it's on something, cause it to just jump up and eat all of my memory and freeze Blender and try and calculate a bunch of stuff all over again? Anyway, yeah, so we're hanging. Fools, very interesting. I hope it's at least a little interesting. It could be a hot take. It could be a wrong take, too. I don't know. Someone that has the books could probably fill me in and say that maybe like the witch isn't a problem being in the advanced player's guide and the core rulebook. Oh my god, it came back. I'm scared to do anything now, though. Anything I do is maybe gonna make it freeze up. But Blender's not responding? Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating, but I'm trying to clean up the scene. And I did the Voronoi, and now for some, I don't know why it would be so big and doing so much. I guess the defaults are huge. Well. Make a new tabletop RPG that's a ripoff of Pathfinder? You should call it Journey Scout? I like it. I like it. What's the selling point? How are we doing this? Road Searcher? Ooh, Road Searcher's good. Yo, Gav, what's up? You're getting glass for gaming? Like glasses? The glasses are going Friday. Oh, were you having eye strain? Gav. Don't ban Gav. Ban Blender for pretending that it's back while still definitely not being back. It's all the memory. When does it ever cache? Does Blender literally ever cache? Is it just going to take up all the memory forever? Is it just constantly recalculating the same thing that's being calculated? Or that was calculated? Oh, it's one of those like orange yellow gaming glasses? I don't know. Do they do anything? Do they actually do anything? I don't tend to get eye strain at the computer. So, I don't know. I should technically be using glasses because I'm farsighted, but I see well enough. It's fine. They make real life HD. Oh, those ones. You're getting them Friday? Have a break next week because not having them back? You're going to stream on Monday the 20th. Okay. Well, enjoy your break. Are you doing anything cool for your break? Or just, Gap stuff? You'll be looking weird on the 20th? Cool. Cool. I might be able to use Blender by the 20th. We'll see. You look great. Very sophisticated. Yeah, I'm sure. Love a man in glasses. I guess. I haven't seen the local recent data. Recent data, that's it. I think locals also matters, right? It's got to be a cultural thing. Do I click again and make Blender milky? I like how it's hanging out here. Like it hasn't even decided to switch to the cap that it's already calculating. Like when does this part of the UI update? Still taking up all the memory. Yet, I mean, this is done, right? Like this is drawing the thing out. And the problem is that I actually kind of want to keep this one. I want to turn it to something else. And how would I ever change the default values when changing into this geo node is going to freeze Blender every time? I wonder if people at Blender also have to deal with the fact that if they plug one thing in wrong, Blender's going to hang up for hours. Like, does that get in their way? Do they have a secret way of pausing execution? Pound for pound? What did I do to crash it? I was switching to a different GeoNode group, tree, whatever. Literally just switching which one was currently on a thing to another one. Did I crash it? I mean, the thing's still going. The UI hasn't actually updated down here. It still says not responding. So it's not milky, but I think we're still in the sitch. But this is one of the situations, if I close Blender, I can very easily get right back into the same situation. And I'm wondering, do we just kind of try and fix the problem here now? Or do we always just consider that one GeoNode group a cancer causer and never touch it ever again? And start from scratch on today's work? Maybe we do. Let me try to transition to a BRB. We'll just close Blender, hopefully. I hit the X. Someday it might